Welcome to TJ Works Wood, everybody. My name's TJ, and today this is going to be video 4 of my homemade bandsaw build. It has been a while since video 3 came out, but life got in the way, and I enjoyed every moment of it, but I wasn't able to get to the shop or make video edits like this one. So hopefully I get them cranked out a little bit more often, but you know, life does happen. So we'll see. Anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And yeah, enjoy the build.
So here we're just putting together the blade guide structure for the upper blade guide. And it's a little hard to visualize when you describe it, so I'm just going to let it speak for itself, and you'll see how it all fits together here in just a little bit. The part I'm making here is going to be the clamp to hold the upper structure for the blade guide. Again, you'll just have to believe me. You'll see it here in a little bit, so believe me just for a few more minutes, or don't, and then I'll show you that I was right. These are the blocks that will actually hold the bearings and the guides, and I have to be honest with you, I'm not super happy how they turned out. I'm probably going to be remaking them after having used the bandsaw for a while. They're just not quite right. I don't know how to describe it, but they work, so I'll use them for now. Staying on the topic of the blade guides, this notch is going to be where the upper blade guide rests between the frame and the clamp that you saw me putting on there. I didn't quite have a long enough blade, so I cut the best I could, and it was stuck on there, so I had to use a trusty tool.
I shall now demonstrate with my hammer. Ready? It's nuclear.
Now once I get all this cleaned off, you can see kind of how it's going to all go together. And I'll put, I forget what these are called, lag bolt? No, that's not right. Anyway, double threaded bolt. And here I'm going to make the mount for the table. And I just have to cut this mortise in it, I guess you would say. And then I decided I needed to cut out an angle, about a 45-degree angle here, and I was using the table saw and realized this is not a safe way to do it. This cut right here, I was like, okay, no. So I just used the depth stop on my miter saw, which I don't think I've ever done before, and then just kind of nibbled away at it. Turned out pretty good. That notch there is for the lower wheel to actually go through, because this is going to be holding up the table, and it's got to be sturdy, but it sticks out in the way of the wheel, so we had to remove part of it so it didn't interfere with the actual blade. Now here we're just getting some Forstner bit action going on, where I recess the bolts, and these are what's going to actually hold everything to the frame. Again, you'll see here in just a second. Now it's time to actually start getting this thing together, so I need it to sit flat, so I just used my hand plane and flattened it best I could. It didn't have to be perfect. Now I'm going to put together the legs. I guess not put together, but drill out the holes for one leg so it will actually stand up. Now I want to get this on here and lined up best I could, because it's going to keep most of the dust in. I don't know why I love using this long drill bit so much, but it makes me happy every time I do. Except for the fact that here, it's really hard to get the screws lined up. But I did. It just took a while. Now here I'm just going to put a temporary mount on the frame to put a motor on. And this again is just temporary, so I can use the actual bandsaw to manufacture the bandsaw parts. It's like Inception for woodworking. Another thing is that the 16-inch tire was too big. I had to go down to a 12.5 to make it stick.
Whoa.
Now we're just getting the templates cut out and put on. These are just on some 2x4s. And I don't have a center punch, so I used a nail. Worked well enough. This is turning out to be a hammer used heavy video, as you'll see here in just a little while. Anyway, just cutting the trunnions that the table will sit on, and I got tired of using the bandsaw on the floor, so I took this table that was holding my miter saw and made it into a smaller table. Just so I'd show you. Anyway, back to the bandsaw. This is the other portion of the trunnions that I'm putting together. I'm putting a little bit of a gap here, and you'll see this is actually where the adjustment bolts are going to go when everything's said and done. But just had to glue and then brad nail everything together, and everything was a little oversized on purpose, so just take it to the belt sander and get it rounded up. There you go. Look at that. Keep going. Alright, after that very important break, it's back to the blade guide structure. This is just going to be a guard, so the blade isn't just like openly available for errant fingers. So I'm just getting it put on there and screwed on. And then we'll mount it and make sure it does its job. Here I'm making the undercarriage. That's probably not the right word, but we'll go with undercarriage for the table itself. This is a spot to let the blower wheel kind of miss it. Also a big notch so we can put the blades on and off. And now I'm just getting the trunnions mounted, making sure they're nice and straight. Using a parallel clamp just to secure them loosely while I drill in, and then get them very secure with these deck screws, which are probably not the best thing. And that is what I was gonna say is a temporary table, but it is still on there, so it's doing a good job. So I'll just keep it until, I don't know, feel like changing it. Now here I'm just gonna put a recess in so I can put a zero clearance plate on there, so when I'm using the saw I don't have to worry about too much. I don't have to worry about anything getting between the table and the blade and causing a real loud noise and probably just scaring me real bad. Anyway, just get it all lined up and get it sized up. You can't really tell because everything's so dang blurry because focus was not my friend this day. Anyway, that's how it works. So after I cover up my not safe for work view there, sorry about that, I am just going to be cutting up some 1/4-inch plywood. This is really basic. It's just a cover to cover the front and top wheels. That way they're not right at hip or groin level spinning and eyeball level spinning just freely. So yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but it just basically conforms and to the size and shape of the actual frame. And I just kind of get everything connected because you got to be able to take it off as well to change the blade, put new tires on there, which I did have to do. There's a cover for that part. Make sure that the motor mount is stable, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. Just use some bolts to get that bolted down. And I put it on a little bit of a hinge, just a door hinge. And right here, you'll see I use a center finding bit just to make sure I get everything just as flush as possible. I don't think it actually matters, but whatever. It's just my OCD speaking out. So went ahead and did that. We can now mount the motor, and that hinge, as you can see, will allow me to kind of put more tension on the belt. Now we're going to add some dust collection, and this thing is good to go. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked it, like and subscribe. I'll be putting out more videos more often, I promise. But, you know, I just kind of go with the flow, and whenever a project comes up, I do it and I film it. So y'all have a good one. And again, thanks for watching.